Hi, I'm a Blisy. So lately on my streams, I've been streaming all my attempts to get the gold medals for the Emerald Battle Frontier. And this is something I've wanted to do for years, but I could never get past the Battle Factory. Everyone told me the factory was like the easiest facility, you should always start with it, and a lot of people think that it's really fun. I ran a poll on Twitter recently, and it won like as the most popular facility, but I didn't see it that way. I would constantly get in there and I would just lose. I would get to a streak of like the mid-20s, which was the highest I'd ever gotten, and I would just lose to some double teaming, to some bright powder, to some OCO nonsense, and it just frustrated me to no end. I was doing this from like 2015 to 2019. I would do it on and off every few months. I would do it, I'd get pissed off, and then I would be like, no, I'm done. And then I'd come back to it and I would try. And I never even gave any of the other facilities a shot, because if this was supposed to be the easy one, like how am I even, you know what I mean? How are you going to do anything? That all changed really recently though. I was linked the speedrun RNG manips for this, and after taking some time to figure them out, I decided to join the person who linked me them in suffering and go for the gold this time. I thought surely with these manips I could do it. So I think the first thing to understand is, why is this facility so difficult for me, and why is it so frustrating? So it's frustrating because you can't plan anything out. The team you get is, when you enter the factory, there's 6 Pokemon to choose from, and you can pick 3 of them to be your team, and they're all random. Their moves are random, which Pokemon they are random, everything is random. And you can't deal with any of the random strategies the opponents use, like double team to raise their evasion. You can't guarantee that you're going to have Aerial Ace or Feint Attack to always hit those Pokemon, and you can't guarantee you're going to have a sturdy Pokemon to avoid 1 KO moves. So you're completely at the mercy of luck to avoid or succeed in terms of fighting those strategies. Also, you can't guarantee that you're going to have any good type coverage. So your team could just be cobbled together. It could be 2 electric types. It could be 2 water types, and you could just be, you could just be out of luck. But Blisy, I hear you say, the swapping mechanic, that's the whole point. You swap out your crappy Pokemon for enemy Pokemon that did well against you. Well, here's the thing about the swapping mechanic. It doesn't work. It's bugged. Like many things in Emerald, there's a huge glitch with it. So to explain this accurately, what is supposed to happen, according to this chart here, the more sets you win, and remember a set is a 7 battles won in a row, so whichever set you're on, the IVs of the Pokemon that you get at the start and the IVs of the enemy trainer Pokemon are all supposed to increase. So in set 1, they're all supposed to be 3. In set 2, they're supposed to be 6. Set 3, they're supposed to be 9, so on and so forth. That works for you just fine. Your Pokemon, the 6 that you get at the start, those guys, their IVs do increase. But the Pokemon that the enemies have, they don't increase. Their IVs actually go up based on your streak in the battle tower for some reason. I think there was just some code copy and pasting, if Pokepret is to be believed, which they are. So this means that you should make sure that your tower streak is 0. Otherwise, in round 1, you could be fighting 31 IV Pokemon if you have a huge tower streak. So you have to make sure your tower streak is 0. And then if you try and swap with the tower streak of 0, you're actually going to be putting yourself at a disadvantage, because you're going to be receiving a Pokemon whose IVs are worse than the ones you got at the start. So the best strategy is just to hope that you get a team of 3 Pokemon that are good and can take it on all the way. So with all of that out of the way, the strategy becomes clear. RNG manip a good team at the start of the round, and then use that team to just get through the entire round. The speedrun documents tell you what targets you're supposed to hit and what Pokemon that you should be using. But there's a catch that also makes this pretty tough. You see, you have to save before you hit your target frame. The last frame and the last A press that you're supposed to hit is the please step this way, but that is after the save prompt. That means if you miss your target, you can't reset, because if you reset, the clerk will yell at you for turning your game off in the middle of a streak. So that means you have to hit a frame perfect timing without fail, without chance for reset. Now, luckily, you have a bit of a frame range window. It's not like 1 frame. It's usually like 5 to 15 frames, depending on which target you're going for. So it's not that bad, but still, it can be pretty difficult. So with all of that known, let's see how I did. And as a quick note here, I already got the silver symbol a long time ago, so this is not going to include my silver symbol battle. This is just me going for the gold. So for set 1, the frame range is 1876 to 1882, and the goal is either to have a Combusken or a Graveler as your lead Pokemon. Hopefully you get both of them. And also you should get a Plusle. That's usually the best third mon that I found anyway. It's a pretty big frame range, and I hit 1878, which is pretty good. Graveler, Combusken, and Plusle are so powerful compared to the rest of set 1, who are just a bunch of, like, I mean, they're NFEs as well. They're just better than all the other not fully evolved Pokemon that are there, that they just tear through set 1 without any issue. And I'm on my first set victory with 7 streaks so far. For set 2, the frame range is 1831 to 1842, and you're hoping to get a Hitmonlee. Hitmonlee is really, really powerful. It can mostly tear through the set on its own, but you also need the other 2 members, which are Plusle and a Dunsparce. Plusle is good. It's just an electric type. It's really handy to have throughout, I think. I've had a few of the sets where I tried to use a Sharpedo, and Sharpedo just wasn't as good as the Plusle, if you ask me. The last one, Dunsparce, you actually swap after beating the first battle for a Swellow. And you reliably know that the Swellow is going to be there because your RNG Manip also controls only the first trainer, but the first trainer's 3 Pokemon as well. So if you hit your Manip, the Swellow is always going to be on that first trainer. And normally swapping is pretty bad, but the thing is, there's not too many other good Pokemon, and Swellow being a flying type and having fly is just so good that it's worth swapping anyway. And honestly, Plusle is a Pokemon, because of rounds 1 and 2, I've gained kind of a new appreciation for. It's a lot stronger than everything in those 2 rounds, and it's like the only good electric type that you can get. And so I just found myself thinking like, geez, I hope I have the Plusle, because otherwise I'm not going to be able to kill any water types or any flying types. And it's just, electricity just adds like a really good resistance and a really good offensive to the teams, and without Plusle, I don't know. I gain a new appreciation for it. For set 3, your frame range is only 1853 to 1858. It's pretty small, and the goal is to get a Zangoose, who is extremely powerful. But also, every one of these frames that you're aiming for has a Grumpig. Let me tell you, this Grumpig is legendary. It's got all the elemental punches and psychic. It's got really high stats compared to all the other Pokemon in this set, and it gave me such a love for Grumpig that I actually bred a 5IV shiny Spoink just for fun. This set shows off the most fun strat in the whole factory, Double Team. This Cloyster used it twice, and honestly, I was really lucky I hit it both times with Thunder Punch. If I had gotten even a bit more unlucky, then it would have been curtains. But overall, without Noland in the mix, set 3 really wasn't that scary aside from the Cloyster. So we're on to set 4, and this is, if you ask me, where stuff gets real. The frame range is 3,277 to 3,284, which is difficult both because the frame range is pretty small and it's a completely different window that you're aiming for, so your timing is, you're not going to be used to it. Also, all of the Pokemon here are basically always fully evolved, so you're dealing with real Pokemon. My first battle here had a Salamence, okay? Like, this is really tough stuff to be fighting against. This team had a Flygon, Jolteon, and Heracross on it, and this was the first time I ever used Flygon, but I ended up finding out that this was a pretty good team. And aside from the Salamence kind of scaring me, I moved on from this set without too much issue, and we're on to set 5. So set 5 has an even tougher frame range than set 4, being 8144 to 8151. I've missed this Manips a few times just because how radically different the length and window are compared to everything else, even from set 4. I barely squeaked by getting the first possible frame, 8144, and then I almost lose my Heracross to a missed Megahorn and was worried I was going to lose the battle. What? After battle 1, it was actually smooth sailing onto set 6, the final set. So I binked my first try on the RNG Manip for set 6, and I got the STARMIE. Now, there's a lot of good Pokemon in the factory, but this STARMIE is legit. It has Bolt Beam coverage and it has Stab coverage. It can tear through set 6 until I get to Noland. Once I get to Noland, he leads with a CLEFABLE. I'm freaking out. This CLEFABLE has double team, I think. There's a really common double team CLEFABLE here, so that's what I was worried about. So I switched to Electrode thinking I need to explode on this thing ASAP before it double teams. It didn't have double team, and I end up having to explode anyway because my Electrode was way too damaged. I send in Swampert next because it's my best all-arounder, but Noland has his Snorlax out. I'm really worried about Curse, but I can't just attack this thing, so I go for counter hoping he just attacks my Swampert. He does, and my Swampert's a little under half HP, and I KO'd the Snorlax with Swampert's counter after he Mega Kicked me. So now it's 2-1, and it's my Swampert and STARMIE versus Noland's Milotic. I think that Swampert has enough HP to live another hit from Milotic, so I switch in STARMIE. STARMIE gets hit with Surf, and then he gets crit. The crit's really bad, because now STARMIE's pretty low, and my Thunderbolt doesn't 2-hit KO the Milotic. And STARMIE actually goes down. So it's just Swampert versus Milotic, and then Milotic outspeeds and KOs my Swampert. It couldn't even live. I lost on 41, and I have to do this all over again. That was like an hour of my life doing these attempts. Normally, this kind of thing would crush me. The crit mattered really bad for Milotic. STARMIE could have 3KO'd it otherwise, but my switch was stupid. I was actually angry how foolish my switch was. But instead of being crushed, I decide I am now more determined than ever to give it another go. I tear through every round again and make it back to Noland first try.
No. No.
I basically never... I've done the battle tower, so it's a partial lie. I have done the battle tower. I've done nothing else. Like, it's like a weird thing where it basically... Sleep's counter... If you use Sleep Talk or Snore, Sleep's counter goes up, and then if you use... Then Sleep's counter goes back down, so it keeps it neutral. Statement. Okay. Whoa, it's faster? What? It must have a quick claw, right? That was terrifying. Jeez. Here we go, everybody. And I'm just going to let my final battle play out in full. I'm so scared. Okay, URSARING. I don't know what URSARING has. There's so many URSARINGs. Scared me. It looks like Lunches and Crunch, you think? A modest URSARING? What's my best play? Is it Swampert? Or do I just STARMIE and die? I can't switch anything in, can I? Do I surf? Surf doesn't kill. Surf does like 60. I mean, can I switch Heracross in, or will he aerial ace me? I'm doing it. This is stupid. XD punch. Thank you, Tama. I fully just believed in you, Tama. I fully believed in you. That was nothing but pure trust. STARMIE's gonna go down here, I think. He's probably got Shadow Ball. But I think Heracross... Maybe I should have preserved it and kept Heracross would have lived the Shadow Ball. Why would I search? I know it's faster. That's fine. I know I'm being over paranoid, but I'm going to check my stats. Alright, so Earthquake is better. Shit. Gold medal! I think I would have even lived a crit. Yes. The knowledge symbol took on a golden shot. Dude, I remember when I worked at a janitor. We're gonna change this to 42. I remember when I was a janitor in like 2015 or 2016, I would spend every lunch break doing this trying to win it, and I still couldn't. Yeah, I'll record this one, Nolan. That's fine. Let's save. I'm not salty. That was so painful to watch the first time when you lost to a random 3% crit. You earned this. Only happy for you. Thank you, thank you. I'm so happy. I'm gonna go take a look at my golden sheen here. The knowledge symbol, and I have the ability. Yeah, battle power. I have so many battle points now. Oof. Alright, everyone. That feels good, man. It feels good. That feels good. Alright, everyone. I'm going to... I'm going to save the game, and thank you for watching. I really appreciate this. This was a fucking journey. And thank you to Jalal and Tama and Greeny, who were all very helpful with these sets and everything. Tama inspired me to do this again because she was doing it, and linked me all of the paste bins. Jalal just knows all these sets. Greeny, moral support, read all the trainer dialogue back to me. You guys are legends. And that's it. that's how I defeated the Battle Factory. This took like 15 hours of manipping, which was insane because it took dozens of hours before I even started learning the manip. I hope you guys enjoyed this little story video. I want to do a shout out to Tamahiro for inspiring me, sending me Exarion's manip strategies, and just kind of inspiring me to actually tackle the factory again through mutual suffering. And it was actually kind of fun. I want to thank Exarion for making that beautiful paste bin that I used, and I think Worcester deserves a shout out too, because they made the original strategy for this, I think. So if you guys enjoyed this video, I'll be actually streaming Battle Arena attempts today. That's the one where the judge determines who wins if you don't KO the enemy Pokemon in 3 turns. I'll be doing that at 6 o'clock EST today after this video goes up. So be sure to check out my stream then. It's on this YouTube channel. I stream right here. And thanks for watching. I'll see you later.